The station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
All right, thank you for joining us on DC News Now. I'm Shanika Grimshaw. We're going to get to your top stories in a moment. First, we want to talk about the weather with meteorologist Jackie Layer with a quick check on our forecast. Jackie, it was a bit windy yesterday. How's it going to look today?
I mean, today will still be breezy, but yesterday, yes, we saw those strong wind gusts all across the region. Some areas even dealt with wind gusts over 50 miles per hour, and that's for much of the area. We're talking Cumberland saw nearly a 60-mile-per-hour gust yesterday. Hagerstown, Dulles Airport, about 55-mile-per-hour gusts for both of those areas. Martinsburg 54. Even Reagan Airport registered at least a 50-mile-per-hour gust. Today, talk about those wind gusts right around 30 miles per hour through the afternoon and evening hours. So bright and breezy through the afternoon with high temperatures right around 60. That sunset will be at 7:46. I do want to point that out because after sunset, winds will weaken. Those skies will clear and those temperatures will drop. We're talking overnight lows outside of the Beltway into those suburbs, into those low to mid 30s. And with that and the colder air in place, we do have some frost and freeze alerts to talk about. I'll go over more details on this coming up.
Jackie, thank you. Well, breaking overnight, a man is dead after a house fire in Prince George's County, Maryland. It happened at around 9 o'clock last night on Elon Place in Bowie. Firefighters were called to the scene after reports of smoke coming from the home. First responders say the windy conditions last night made putting out the fire more difficult.
It's difficult in the wind. We have very specific protocols for aerial ladders, and wind-driven fires can be very dangerous to a community. But thankfully, Prince George's County firefighters did an amazing job of an aggressive interior attack. We're able to extinguish that fire very quickly.
Now, investigators have not yet identified the victim. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. And the case of a Maryland man who was wrongfully deported to El Salvador by the Trump administration continues to play out in court. Another hearing on Kilmar Abrego Garcia was held yesterday in Greenbelt. A federal court judge now ordering the feds to hand over papers to Abrego Garcia's attorney. This comes the day after El Salvador's president told President Trump he has no plans to send Abrego Garcia back home, although the Trump administration admitted its error in the deportation. They're continuing to accuse Abrego Garcia of being affiliated with the MS-13 gang and human trafficking. These are all accusations Abrego Garcia's attorney has denied.
My understanding is that we were going after hardened criminals. So just by you saying somebody's a hardened criminal doesn't necessarily make them so. This is an individual who's married to a U.S. citizen, who has 3 U.S. citizen kids, who has no criminal record, who's a union member, and who pays taxes. I thought those were the kind of people that we said that we weren't going after and we were targeting deportees.
Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen is visiting El Salvador today. He says the Trump administration needs to listen to the Supreme Court's unanimous decision.
9-0 opinion said that the Trump administration had to facilitate his return to Maryland. And they are clearly ignoring a direct court order.
The Trump administration has until Monday to complete the discovery order. And we're also hearing from Maryland's other senator, Angela Also Brooks, on the White House's refusal to bring Abrego Garcia back home. She says in part, quote, to have a president who not only disregards but so clearly abhors the rule of law will forever change this country for the worse. She goes on to say this administration's seemingly endless cruelty has no boundaries and it will impact every single American. And ICE has announced they have arrested over 1,000 undocumented workers since January. Homeland Security officials say this is the highest rate of arrest in their agency's history. They also say they're suing businesses that knowingly hired undocumented workers. And developing now, 15 George Mason University students have had their students' visas revoked. Now, the university president says the school was blindsided, saying the government terminated their visas without talking to the school or giving them prior notice. George Mason is now trying to help the international students figure out how they can still finish their courses. University leaders also say they have no idea why the students' immigration status changed, and they haven't received answers from federal officials. But the Trump administration has revoked the visas for hundreds of foreign students across the country accused of participating in pro-Palestinian protests. And happening now, D.C. is set to begin making massive cuts after the House failed to pass a budget fix before recessing. The mayor's office sending out an order implementing freezes on hiring, promotions, and soon overtime. The city administrator also creating a plan for employee furloughs and facility closures. This is all in response to a congressional spending bill that reverted D.C. back to its 2024 budget, effectively cutting its budget by $1 billion.
We will limit spending in the government. I think that's the immediate thing that I will notify all of mayoral agencies, and we will be earnestly planning a revised 25 budget that reflects those changes.
Now, Bowser says as part of those changes, no departments are explicitly exempt from the freezes, including police and fire, but agencies can request a waiver. Those will be considered on a rolling basis. And D.C.'s police union responding to the budget cuts, the leadership saying restrictions on overtime and hiring will increase staffing shortages, limit response times, and reduce proactive policing. The union president writing, "We are encouraging Chief Smith to move to secure exemptions for overtime and hiring to mitigate these impacts. We urge the city administrator to grant waivers to protect public safety and permitted under the order." And turning now to weather, new video out of Virginia. Take a look at this. It shows the moment a trampoline flew by during Monday night storms. Those storms seem strong. It happened just south of Richmond as the region was under a severe thunderstorm warning. Now we want to get a full check of our forecast with meteorologist Jackie Layer. Now again, it was really windy yesterday. You mentioned some breeze today. How's it going to look? How's it going to feel?
Yeah, I mean, out there later on this afternoon, we'll still be seeing those breezy conditions, but those wind gusts will not be nearly as strong as what we had yesterday. We saw those gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour for much of the region. Even Martinsburg saw 54-mile-per-hour gusts. Reagan Airport over 50 miles per hour too. Now, thankfully, those gusts not nearly as strong today. We'll be right around 30 miles per hour through the afternoon. And at least we'll have the sunshine out there for the day today too. So we're tracking the dry conditions. High temperatures right around 60. Now later this evening, 7:46 will be that sunset. Temperatures will start to drop, and we'll see those overnight lows drastically dropping back down into those low to mid 30s, especially outside of the Beltway. Now we should be seeing an overnight low right around 40 in D.C. But I would say in the suburbs into early tomorrow morning, it's going to be a colder one. So there are some frost and freeze alerts to talk about. That frost advisory and also the freeze warnings go into effect at 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. The only difference is that the frost advisory holds until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, while those freeze warnings back over towards the Shenandoah Valley, those hold till 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. So with that being said, for both of these frost and freeze alerts, definitely want to make sure that you're covering any of those sensitive plants or crops, or even if you have any of those potted plants that are sensitive to the cold, if you can bring those inside, that would be good for them, just to save them or at least shield them from the cold overnight. So as we look towards tomorrow, after that colder start, temperatures actually rebound quite nicely tomorrow afternoon. We're back in those middle 60s. That's seasonable for this time of the year, and we're tracking that sunshine and less wind. So Thursday is going to be looking quite nice out there. As we look towards Friday, even warmer. We're rounding out that work week with high temperatures nearing 80 degrees on Friday. We'll notice increasing cloud cover through the day, and yes, those warm temperatures, but it will be even warmer as we look ahead towards this upcoming weekend, just in time for the holiday weekend. So, but let's talk about highs tomorrow first. We're back in those middle 60s for much of the area tomorrow. Now we're going to continue to see those dry conditions persisting through the day today, tonight, and tomorrow. And eventually, like I mentioned, I do want to put this through with Futurecast to show you those temperatures dropping right after sunset. So if you have 8 p.m. temperatures 40s to lower 50s, eventually dropping all the way through those 30s into tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning, you want that heavier jacket, and then you will likely not need it as you look towards, say, tomorrow afternoon. So tomorrow, we're just noticing increasing cloud cover with this warm front drifting in. That warm front will be allowing for those temperatures to warm up Friday. Now Saturday, we have that cold front approaching from the north and west, and with that front approaching, that could spark some isolated thunderstorms late in the day on Saturday. I know if you have some outdoor plans on Saturday, just make sure that you are staying weather aware later on in the day. Just a chance for some isolated thunderstorms out there. We're back in those middle 70s out there on Easter Sunday, and then to start off that next week, we're talking lower 70s, and Earth Day, we're tracking some scattered showers.
Loving those temperatures, Jackie. All right, so turning now to Maryland, a private school that has been open for over 6 decades is now shutting down. School leaders at Sandy Spring Friends says it cannot stay open. Now, in a letter to parents and the school community, the Board of Trustees writing, we simply do not have the financial wherewithal to meet our obligations next year. So for many alumni, they're heartbroken, saying the school that served 3-year-olds through high school was a beloved place.
Only current students and staff, but future students and staff who won't get to, experience the amazing school that it is and was.
Anybody with a heart who goes to Sandy Spring knows how special it is, and so to be told that you cannot come back the next year, I'm sure it's heartbreaking. It's like, where do you go?
Sandy Spring Friends will have its final graduation at the end of the semester. That's on June 7th. All right, Easter is just around the corner, and the National Retail Federation says families will spend $23 billion on the holiday. So where can you find the best deals? DC News Now's Haley Mylon is helping you stretch your dollar as you hunt for those savings.
National Retail Federation's annual survey explores how Americans will be observing the day. It found that people feel Easter traditions are meaningful, particularly during times of economic uncertainty. The survey also finds that many have a sweet tooth. Candy is the biggest item people are shopping for. Target's Dollar Spot has tons of pastel trinkets, bubbles, and bunnies to stick in baskets. Many items just $1 each. Head to the candy aisle for buy one, get one 25% off bags of chocolates and candies to fill your eggs with. Love 'em or hate 'em, Target's got plenty of peeps. This year, the most divisive candy even comes in Dr. Pepper flavor. If you're really going wild stuffing your kids' baskets this year, Five Below might be your spot. Easter-themed toys, candies, and bunny ears all line the shelves. Are you hosting an epic egg hunt? Here's where you'll find huge savings. Dollar Tree. Get a dozen plastic eggs for just $1.25. Actual eggs have never been more expensive, and that's why some are decorating fake eggs this year. Michael's is selling Easter-themed crafting kits. NRF says more than half of people celebrating will be cooking for family and friends. Walmart's special Easter meal is about $35 to feed 6 people, including ham, potatoes, veggies, mac and cheese, rolls, and cake. I'm Haley Mylon, DC News Now.
And a new hospital opening in the district for the first time in 25 years is now seeing its first patients. Mayor Bowser and United Health Services unveiled the new Cedar Hill Regional Medical Center, GW Health, and that's in Ward 8. That was last week. So it has over 130 beds, a trauma care department, and maternal health services. One neighbor was so happy about the new hospital, she knitted hats and blankets to donate to the hospital's nursery.
This is a brand new hospital in a community that really needed good health care. And for the new babies here, the new mothers that are coming into this facility, I thought, well, it'd be nice to do something for them.
She is so sweet. Staff at Cedar Hill tells us the first day has already been pretty busy. And it's Emancipation Day, marking the end of slavery in the district. Over 3,000 people in D.C. were freed on April 15th, 1862. To commemorate the occasion, many services will be closed today. All rec centers and aquatic centers will be closed for the day, along with DMVs. Non-emergency construction work is taking a pause for the day as well, along with most parking enforcement and trash collection. D.C. public schools are currently closed as well for spring break. But outdoor parks and athletic courts will be open along with select libraries. And looking ahead to next Tuesday, Montgomery County is offering free rides through its Ride On bus service. It marks its 55th anniversary of Earth Day. Now, the County Department of Transportation says it plans to convert nearly 400 Ride On buses to a zero-emissions fleet, and that's by 2030. And this year's lineup for the All Things Go Music Festival in Maryland has been announced. Artists include Noah Kahan, the Marias, Kesha, Doechii, and Lola Young. Pre-sale tickets will be available tomorrow, and the festival is the weekend of September 26th at Merriweather in Columbia.